Hello, my name is Sai. Today we're going to be making an abstract painting using watercolors, and then we're going to be using markers to create our own designs on top. So we're going to be needing a white poster board that can be like cardboard, or it can also be a white foam board. And we'll also need watercolor paints, and we're going to need different colors. So let's get started. Alright, so here you have the color wheel, and on the bottom you have the greens, the blues, and the purples, which all are cool colors. And then on the top you have the yellows, oranges, and the reds, which are the warm colors. And what you want to do is that you can think about what colors you want to use for this project by kind of thinking maybe maybe I want to do all blues, or maybe I want to do all the cool colors or all the warm colors, or even you can try doing two cool colors and one warm color to make it pop, or the other way around. So you have a lot of options, which is cool. So you'll need a brush, some paint, and something to keep the paint in, as well as some water. So pink, blue, and green were the colors that I chose. Blue and green are both cool colors, so they're more alike to each other, while pink is a warm color, being a lighter version of red. So pink works as a highlight that stands out in comparison to the blue and green. Then for the water, you want to have a little bit of water for each color. What you'll do is that you'll mix each color with their water so that the paint becomes more thin and can drip easier when you put it on the canvas. Just make sure that each color has their own water. Additionally, you want to have some water off to the side, because after you're done mixing one color, you can dip your paintbrush in that water, so that way you can then mix the next color with its water without mixing it with the previous color. So now, I'm holding my canvas, in this case a white foam board, and taking one color to put against it so that the paint starts dripping down. Make sure where you're painting doesn't have a carpet or any other objects that would get damaged by paint, since it will drip and probably fall from the canvas. So a good place would probably be a garage or the grass outside. Also, it can help to have a cardboard piece to catch paint that does drip. Do one color at a time, and for each one, let gravity make the paint drip down. You can turn the board in different directions to make the paint go in different ways and make more paths. Once you're done with one color, dip your brush in the extra water that you have to clean it, and then start putting paint on the canvas for the next color, just like how you did the first. Once you're done with that one, do the last color. So for each color, try to always find spots on the canvas where areas don't have enough paint and apply it there. You can also put paint for one color on the same path for a previous color, which will make already existing lines have new colors. You can also flick your wet brush to make a splatter effect, but be very careful that it's not going on any other objects. You should have fun with this part, since it's interesting to see how the dripping paint makes new paths as you change the direction of the canvas. So we finished around half of the project. Now, we're going to be using markers and pens to create doodles and designs on top of our already existing artwork. We're going to be using a pencil, a permanent marker such as a Sharpie, and a Sharpie Ultrafine Point permanent marker pen. But if you don't have that last one, the Sharpie Ultrafine Point pen, I would suggest using something like a gel pen, since that one also creates that really nice dark black color that's good for this project. So if you take a look at your board, you can see a lot of different patterns and paths made by the paint. And what we're going to do is that we'll use these paint lines to guide our process in making sketches and doodles of different things. And it's completely up to you what you want to draw on there. Let your imagination make you see all the paint lines as different things, a little bit like seeing shapes in clouds. Use your markers and pens to make that real. It's a good idea sometimes to first use your pencil for the drawing and then go over with pen or marker. Also, feel free to use a ruler. It's good for doing things such as making straight lines. So now I'll just show you up close some of the designs that I did. Just keep in mind that whatever you do draw is totally up to you. So for this design, I wanted to kind of portray a dark object underneath the paint. So what I did first is that I traced the outline of it, and you can see on the top that I made a circle. One thing to note is that I made sure that my lines didn't overlap the paint to make sure that it looks like it's underneath the paint. Now you can see that I filled it in, and just doing that gives that look that it's underneath. This is good because the black against the color allows the color to really stand out. Here, I wanted to show a line pattern in which at the edge it's much darker and it slowly gets brighter as you go to the right. I first chose a point at the tip of the board and then drew lines with the ruler out, turning the outer part of the ruler but keeping the inner part of the ruler on that point from moving, kind of like a rotating clock hand. I then continued this until it was darker closer to the edge and lighter at the end. For this last design, take a look at the spiral design to the center right. This line creates a bunch of smaller shapes, and I'm going to fill some of them in such a way that it allows you to still see the general design. See, the key is not to color two shapes that are next to each other, since otherwise the black will make them look like they're all one shape. Congratulations, you finished your paint doodle artboard. I hope you enjoyed this simple and relaxing project. Please watch all the National Honor Society art tutorials for more interesting projects.